Have y'all seen that viral video of dating by Anwar or dating with Anwar, where he was talking about black hairstyles and what kind of men like those black hairstyles? Let me show you the video.
Look at a client and I can say, oh, I know who she's going to be with. So let's get into it right here and right now. Girl, if you got braids, those white guys are checking for you. The Asians are checking for you. Your braids tend to skew younger. Also, the biracial and the white chocolates, they're going to be checking for you. Now, if you have any sort of color in your braids, girl, the lesbians are checking for you, okay? Now, if you have a short afro or if you have locks, it's a little bit tricky because you're going to engage and attract two different kinds of guys. The white guys or the grand risers, aka the hoteps, okay? So figure out which one you want, girl, because those are two very different men. If you're silk pressed or you're relaxed, you're going for a guy that's a little bit more conservative, and that is across the board, across the racial color lines, girl, okay? Now, if you're into wigs, weaves, specifically straight, I'm talking about one out of the hair chart. It's black guys. Black guys, wigs, weaves that are straight, it's black guys. Now, if you have a longer weave, wig, or your natural hair and it has a looser curl, it's like a 2, Latino and Arab guys, or Middle Eastern guys, okay? Now, if you are like a 3, like a short, curly, you're gonna really tend for a rich white guy, a Latino guy. Oh, I also forgot, girl. If you have a short pixie cut, or you have finger waves, old black guy girl. So I call them the Motowns. That's your lane, girl. Stick with it. Now, oh, and girl, if you have a bob, you attracting the gay boys, the bisexuals, and the more submissive men. Ask me about it later, girl. Now, if you're a 4, all natural, wash and go, girl, white, white, white.
So we're going to talk about that video. Okay?
Very stylish. I hope you can vibe with me.
But first, have you subscribed yet? Have you hit that bell to let you know when I have a new video out? Come on, let's go. So I've been natural since 2000. There's me when I went natural in 2000. 24 years ago when I was in college. And let's just say that going to the University of Kentucky and having natural hair in 2000, like polar opposites. Like, sure, people liked me, but was it popular? Was it cute? Did people think it was attractive? No. I was told to straighten my hair often, okay? Oh, I want to talk about, like as I do my hair, I want to talk about what my experiences have been like with my natural tight curl hair. I'm going to be doing a fall-inspired twist out since it is starting to get cool in New York City. So I'm going to do a fall-inspired twist out. Looks like this right here, like so, like that, like so, like that. I like it. I think it looks cute. So I'm going to show you how I got that, and I'm going to talk to you about that video. Okay, so let's get into it. I've been living in New York City since 2003. And when I first moved here, my dating life wasn't very poppin'. I was 24 years old and I was kind of more career driven. And even in college, I wasn't too concerned with like what was going on because, you know, of how I was raised and the community that I was raised in. That's a whole nother video. More natural hairstyles when I moved to New York City in 2003. But before the craze, the natural hair craze on YouTube started back in 2010, I had no reference or had no hair about anybody else, but I've always had natural hair. And I've always got dates with my natural hair. I've always worn my afro, my twist outs. I've had shorter hair. I'll show you all the pictures as I'm saturating my hair with Mousse Def. But I will tell you some more stories, okay? There was a guy that I was dating, and he was in our religious community, and he was much younger than me. He was like maybe 9 years younger. And this is when I was 33, and everybody was like, you know, Lucretia, you're a tough cookie, and you just need somebody to soften you up. So over here, they were playing matchmaker with this man who was obsessed with non-black women. I think everybody that he dated before me was probably white, and his wife now is white. And so, for me, his point of reference was straight hair and fair skin and a slimmer body. So he always was talking about when you're gonna do your hair, when you're gonna do your hair, when you're gonna do your hair, but would always admire my voluptuous body. So I don't think he really, to say the least, loved my hair. I don't think my hair was loved, but I think he dated me for looks and not for my hair, if you know what I mean. So he told me when you're gonna do it, when you're gonna comb it. And when I cut my hair off in my religious community, they made me wear a wig because I couldn't look too militant. The crown paint colors. wear my natural hair in the setting that I was in. And so most of the men that I was around, they had no reference for natural hair except for me. And the way I wore my hair back then, it wasn't like a lot of different styles. I basically just wore twist outs and twists, and it wasn't, you know, colored or, you know, kind of the stuff that I'm doing now. But yeah, I've always had guys who admired me, but I will say I've only dated black men with tight curls. And when my hair was shorter, sheesh. When my hair was shorter, forget it. I had all that love on me. Now, I will say there are different guys or partners or people that like you. I do think borough kind of changes things too. And I'll talk about that. I've always lived in Queens since I've lived here, even though I spent a lot of time in Brooklyn, because my grandmother has been living in Brooklyn since 1994. She was raised here until she was 18 years old and then moved away and came back when she was 60. So technically I'm from here. I went to Brooklyn a lot because I was visiting my grandmother. Been to all these house parties and things like that. And, you know, being in the artist scene back in the early 2000s in New York City, in Brooklyn, was the place to be. So I dated a lot of artists, musicians, and a lot of men in Brooklyn. And what I'll say is, when Anwar was talking about what kind of men like natural hair or tight curls, I've only dated black men. There were some black men that liked me when I was in Kentucky, but here it's been mostly guys who were raised in Brooklyn or lived in Brooklyn or are from Brooklyn or whatever. Those are the ones in which I've gotten a lot of love. For the most part, I don't really be getting looks like that in Queens. I've definitely had some old white men follow me in the park. The Bronx has grown on me, and I've definitely got some love from guys in the Bronx. I will say that, with my natural hair. And when I wear my hair in crochets or in braids in Queens, I get more looks. I get more looks in Queens. When my hair is in crochets, braids. When my hair lays down, I get more attention. When people think I'm a little bit more attractive, they'll look at me differently. They'll also think I'm younger, like Anwar said. Braids and twists and hanging hair makes you look younger. So I tend to have younger guys look at me when I have my hair. That, for me, in New York, made me feel like, oh, I'm attractive. And in Kentucky, my hair, natural hair, even right now, I can't say there have been many men from Kentucky that liked me for my natural hair or like my natural hair. And if they said they liked my natural hair, they never pursued me. So somebody might be watching this video talking about, I liked you in college, but you never told me. And that's another thing about like having natural hair and being in New York City. They will walk right up to you in New York City. I'm gonna tell you that right now. In Kentucky, where I'm from, or where I was raised, they not walking right up to me at all. Not in my experience. They'll watch me for a while, or, you know, but I'm not somebody they're going to approach in Kentucky. Kentucky, they like traditional, straight hair, in my experience. Okay? Right. Natural hair has definitely gotten a lot of Grand Rising young men. Okay, I am done now. We'll see how it turns out, because usually I put on the color first, then the foam. But the directions said put mousse on first, then the foam. So we shall see how it turns out. I usually don't do my flat twist this way. But yeah, I should experiment and take this out and see how many people compliment my hair for tomorrow. When I see you next, my hair is going to be dry. And I'm going to go into an event, and you'll see me all with makeup and mascara and all that stuff on. And then my hair will be out.
So here's the thing. My hair turned out nice. And it was defined, but it wasn't as shiny and popping as it usually is. And I think that's what happened with the color. And I should have used a cream instead. So that's why I think it turned out like this, as opposed to really highly defined when I usually do my foam twist outs. It's still very cute, stretched, the color is popping, but yeah.
What is it giving? Okay, because I don't know. I think I'm very vintagey. So whoever's into vintage, I guess. Whoever's into vintage. I think it turned out cute. I like my little curly fro. I gotta put my shoes on because I'm running late. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And let me know what you think in the comments. Bye. See you next time.